gang people who commit murder responsible. I have a son who got killed. So I don't care what color it is.
Yes. This is a good question. I was at CompStat this morning, which is the police meeting where all law enforcement agencies get together once a week, and I'm a regular attendee of that. And the number of problems and challenges that exist in our city are overwhelming. There's been 10 homicides in the city already, and we need to use every tool available to stop them. Project Longevity's spirit is focusing on stopping the violence, period. And I believe it's important to use as many tools as we have available. We're using a lot of them already, but Project Longevity is something that I support. We need to make sure that our police have sensitivity training so that they're respectful to people, and that we hire police that support community policing and opt into that program, because our police officers need to be based in community policing and respect and engage in our communities, but at the same time we need to use tools like Project Longevity, which have been proven to work in other cities.
Thank you. Mr. Fernandez?
So I do support Project Longevity. I think it's a program which actually developed by folks like Tracy Mears at Yale Law School. Has done a really good job of identifying where it is that you can bring the connections between folks that are engaging in violent crime so that they're not engaging in rounds of retribution one against the other. And so I think that's important. I would go a step further. I think as we look at community policing, we want to make it go deeper. We need to look at the idea of legitimacy in policing. And this is the idea that every interaction that we have with the police needs to be perceived by the public as legitimate. And if we do that, if when you call the police, they come, if your interactions with them are positive, people are going to be much more likely to do things like form block watches, much more likely to be witnesses to crime and to call 911 if, in fact, the police respond rapidly and are respectful.
Thank you.
When I worked with Representative Walker on the Raise the Age campaign, we learned that we were one of 3 states at that particular time that considered 16 and 17-year-olds adults for the criminal justice system. And when we looked into this, we realized that as adolescents actually make decisions and form decisions based upon groups. And oftentimes a lot of the policies that we have really don't take into consideration this group modality that adolescents are involved in, this sort of adolescent group mind that exists. So Project Longevity takes that into consideration. That's why I support it. But it does a couple of things. It basically brings the young people in and says, look, if there are any more violent crimes associated with your group, then the entire group has to take responsibility for those crimes. If, on the other hand, you don't want to be involved in those crimes, and I'll talk about it later if you have a chance. But it's a wonderful program.
What I want to add to this is I think the most important element of this whole thing is that we provide wraparound services, and we do a lot of preventive work to make sure it does not happen. I do not want to live in a community where we're locking up young men that we don't have to lock. I want to do everything in our power that we can to stop that from happening first, before we reach that point. And then if they don't respond properly, then we do whatever is necessary to protect the children and the grandparents and teens in that community.